ودي لي سلامي يا رايح للحرم، وادعي لي وسلم لي على هادي الأمم. ودي لي سلامي يا رايح للحرم، وادعي لي وسلم لي على هادي
حجاج بيت الله هزتني خطى أفواجكم، ووددت لو أغرقت هذه النفس في أمواجكم. يا واقفين على الصعيد، عيني تراكم من بعيد، لم تكتب اللقيا اكتبوني في سطور دعائكم.
You can see the massive King Abdullah extension to my left. And now we're going towards the main part of Al-Masjid Al-Haram. The massive Makkah Tower itself. Which is facing one of the main gateways, the King Abdulaziz gateway.
شريك لك لبيك، إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك. لبيك اللهم لبيك، لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك، إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك. لبيك اللهم لبيك، لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك، إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك. لبيك اللهم لبيك، لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك، إن الحمد والنعمة لك.
So we're just at the base of Mount Hira. This is where the Prophet ﷺ received the revelation. This is where the Prophet ﷺ would go for contemplation and reflection of what the situation in the Quraysh, the custodians of the Haram itself. Now, when the Prophet ﷺ received the revelation himself, he was scared. this angel with thousands of wings appeared in the sky and then grabbed hold of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, constricted him until his ribs were kind of curving into themselves and he was running out of breath. And then the angel Jibreel said to him, read in the name of your Lord. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I cannot read. Because remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was an unlettered prophet, meaning he could not read, he could not write, and he could not convey letters to the ummah. And in itself, that is beautiful, because people cannot then claim that Prophet ﷺ was a poet, even though they claimed he was a poet. They cannot claim that he learned this stuff because he did not know how to read or write at that point. So where did all this knowledge come from? Anyone using logic will understand this was outwardly. This was something not from the Prophet ﷺ. This is a revelation.
أصلي عليك وكل الوجود صلاة وشوق إليك أصلي عليك وكل الوجود صلاة وشوق إليك
أصلي عليك وكل الوجود صلاة وشوق إليك
أصلي عليك
وكل الوجود صلاة وشوق إليك.
A wahi that's coming directly from the Jannah to the Jibreel Islam, convey to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So ikra, the word read. And we now use this word as when we want our children to study, say the first verse revealed or the word revealed was ikra. Because knowledge is something that's extremely important in Islam. Knowledge, as I say, is power and understanding and contemplation on the fact that this religion of ours, this deen of ours is perfect. And it took an angel to come down from the highest levels of Jannah, from the arsh, underneath the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the chief angel, Jibreel alayhi salam, to convey this revelation in the blessed month of Ramadan, conveying the whole of the Quran itself to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whereas today we have Huffaz of Quran who have memorized this. So this lineage, this passage of narration goes all the way back from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Jibreel Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the teachers, the companions, and onwards. This chain of revelations is what is key to the deen of Islam. Alhamdulillah.
ونور الهدى ساطع من يديك وكل حنين وشوق إليك
صلي عليك
ونور الهدى ساطع من يديك وكل حنين وشوق إليك
وكل الوجود صلاة وشوق إليك.
You can imagine this position here on Mount Hira, overlooking the Kaaba, overlooking Makkah, a direct view of the whole city. And as an ambassador, as someone who was known as the truthful one, he was there reflecting on the pagan Quraysh, which he was the elite. He was part of the elite. He was part of the Quraysh. But he was thinking, there has to be something bigger than this. There has to be something greater than this. And this is where the Prophet ﷺ was doing those reflections. This is where the revelation was revealed. This is where the Prophet ﷺ would get the Quran. And what we know as the Quran now was because of this and this position here. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I know though revelations were coming everywhere and anywhere, and we know that when the revelation came, the Prophet ﷺ would stop. He would be sweating profusely, and it was like there was a weight on him. Every time he would get revelation, there was a weight on him. And you can imagine, we are sitting in the heat here, and you can see it's absolutely boiling hot, around 40 to 45 degrees in the searing heat. The Prophet ﷺ will come here and spend up to 30 days or more reflecting. The Prophet ﷺ will come here and reflect for many a day on the condition of the Quraysh and the condition that he was living in just in the mountains behind us. Alhamdulillah.
الله أكبر الله
Behind me right now, we have the Maktab. It's right opposite Safa Marwa. Just behind me, we've got the Haram, we've got the clock towers, we've got the King's Palace on the left-hand side here, and you can see the areas for prayer. And this place here behind me is very special. It's now known as the Makkah al-Mukarramah Library or Maktab, and it was established in 1370 Al-Hijri. And this is the birthplace of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, or the house of his grandfather Abu Muttalib. And what we understand the story here right now is that the Prophet ﷺ said he was a prophet and he was under the protection of his grandfather. If he did not have the protection of his grandfather, the other tribes of Quraysh would have killed the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Because of the lineage of the Prophet ﷺ, because he was known as the truthful, this is why he was protected. And you can imagine when Abu Muttalib passed away, that protection was gone. It was finished. And then the other tribes of Quraysh, who were angered, incensed that this person who is one of us now claims to be a prophet, now claims that there's no idol should be put inside the haram, there's only one God, and that God is Allah, and he should be worshipped, and I am the final messenger. They said, how dare you say something like this? And here, this is the birthplace of our Rasul, of our Nabi, and it's very significant. And look at the proximity between the Haram and his birthplace. So here we see history. So I can just walk you around, we'll see the building. It's a very small area, but you can see at that time, they weren't living in very big places. These are not the actual structures of the buildings here. And what you do see is a very rectangular building, but now it serves as a library, a knowledge base. And that's very important because the Prophet ﷺ himself came here to teach, came here to educate. He's the one who liberated people from the idols. He's the one who liberated people from burying their daughters alive because they were female. He's the one who established the rights of the women. He established the rights of the poor. And this place now to serve as a library is a knowledge of the Prophet ﷺ, is his knowledge. And we can have some comparisons. You have sometimes the libraries of former presidents, and these presidents, when they finish their term, they actually establish a library, a national library. And when they establish a national library, this is a library. Every of their minutes, their lives, their actions, what they agreed, what they didn't agree is put into that. And this is something similar. No comparison, but this is something similar to that, inshallah.
حمدا لله عبدناه وسنفعل ما يرضى الله لبيك إلهي قد جئنا لزيارة بيت نهواه بالنية والعزم أتينا والسوء هناك هجرناه لبس الإحرام فجمله عند الميقات وحلاه وينادي العبد بتلبية اقبلني عندك رباه ويطوف بسبعة أشواط ويقول النور وجدنا.
Alhamdulillah, you went to the Mountain of Light.
Yes.
How was that?
It was absolutely amazing. I mean, we've been working in the tower, the clock tower, for many years.
So we're a bit spoiled, aren't we?
Yeah.
We get this incredible dramatic view of the Haram.
And obviously I see it all the time on the right-hand side, but never had the time to go to it. And this time I had the chance to go, so I'm not going to miss that opportunity. The only thing that was concerning me was like, am I going to go for it and try climbing that top with my knee operation?
Yeah, so that's obviously, I think we'd had that discussion. Yeah, it's, and what we would,
well,
I think...
didn't you pass up on it? I'm gonna give some advice on this one.
Yes, if you get the opportunity to climb up the Mount of Light, absolutely avail that opportunity and do it. Yeah. But just some humble advice is you really want to do it straight after Fajr, or at least when the sun is ever so slightly starting to rise, because it gets really hot if you attempt to do it, which is, I think you got there, what time did you get there?
We got there quite late, yeah.
Yeah, so I think even, I remember when you were leaving, I said, well, listen, take your sunglasses, take a cloth, it's going to be hot out there.
We were literally smoked.
Do you know why? Because I learned the hard way. I've been up the mountain of light, and people think it's very easy to do. Well, just be prepared. Take cold water with you. Go at a cool time of the day.
We just went up one
section of it.
One little bit of section.
And
of
this
it.
is they've added steps, haven't they?
They've added steps. You had no steps at your time.
We had the beginning of steps, like you could see that there was an attempt to do it. Though we were hearing from the ministry that they may even provide like some sort of chairlift facility. Yeah. I guess I think that would be nice, certainly for those who have disabilities and would struggle. They would have no chance of getting up there.
I think they're going to build a skylift to it, so making it proper. But what was surprising, they've properly made it into a tourist thing. They had a museum at the bottom.
So I've not seen that.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So we had a museum at the bottom. It literally goes through the story of the Jabal Nur. You have a replica of Jabal Nur.
In the museum?
In the museum.
Wow.
An actual replica, which I was amazed. You can actually go in 3D and see it inside. You can see, and you're like, wow, that's absolutely amazing. So if you have no compunction to go to the top, you can
go to the museum and get some idea
sense of what's going on.
Yeah.
What was really interesting was that we had all the facilities. You have the steps and all that. The Prophet ﷺ used to go up regularly, and none of that. And what I imagine is that the Prophet ﷺ sitting on Jabal Nur, which is just over there. You've got Mecca right beneath us here right now. Yeah. And he's sitting there reflecting on the Quraysh. He's looking, he's thinking, he's meditating in a contemporary way. And there comes then Jibreel al-Islam and gives him this revelation, Iqra.
Yeah. There's something very different about going to the physical space. One is the time dimension to the Night of Power, but to actually go to the physical space where the first revelation began, it is special, and we'd urge people to do that. In the Muslims who used to come for Hajj many, many years ago, it was standard procedure. I know of so many friends and family who, when they came on their Hajj, they sacrificed their own hadi, the sacrificial animal. They did that on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah with their own hands. That was very normal. But with the sheer numbers that we're dealing with now, the authorities generally do it. And I believe you got a chance to actually go see one of the setups, one of the abattoirs, where obviously it must be a huge planning dimension to it.
2 million people on average do the Hajj.
Yes.
That means most of those people, need
2 million, well, a million, one animal each. I mean, obviously those who are doing the Hajj Ifrad, so these are local Saudis, but generally they don't have to. But those who are the Afaqi, like us, we come from outside of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Yeah, so those who are doing Hajj Qiran and Hajj Tamattu', which are basically the two major Hajj types that you will encounter if you're coming from outside of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, will have an animal. So minimum, you're looking at about, I think from even last year's statistics, about 1.5, 1.6 million animals would have needed to have been sacrificed, which that's a tremendous amount.
So we now entered the market area. This is where all the sheep are being placed and the animals were coming. We even saw some camels, mashallah. So we got some brothers from, I believe, from some African country here. They've got their animals and these will be offered for slaughter. Anyone can come in like a marketplace, choose their animal, then take it for slaughter. So if you come through this way, you can see all the different kinds of animals. You can see the sheep ready for the actual slaughter itself. Alhamdulillah. So they literally will come, pick the animal that they want, and then take it to that process over there and have it slaughtered. Easy as that. So this is where you will see that your Qurbani, your Udhiyah, this is the process it goes through. This animal here now will be taken, it's being selected, and it will go straight through to the factory side over there to be actually slaughtered for Qurbani food or just general purposes, general consumption of the actual meat. So let's see if we can go inside and have a look at one of these pens, inshallah. So I've just been speaking to this gentleman here, and he's just told me that these sheep are from Sudan. He's from Sudan. Those sheep over there, they're actually from Somalia. So you literally have choices of sheep, either from Sudan, from Somalia, from Saudi Arabia. They're coming all over the world to be slaughtered. So if we just come through here, he's kindly allowed us to go through in the pen of here. I don't know what to expect, but look, you can see the animals themselves. They're ready. I don't want to go in there because it might just cause them to try to eat me or something like that. So look, these animals are allowed to be roaming freely. They're grazing. They'll be selected, and then off they go for slaughter. Alhamdulillah. So the gentleman here is checking out the animal, see if it's appropriate for me, and they're literally directly gonna pick it up, load it onto his his car, his vehicle here, mashallah. Yeah. So he's gonna take it home, and he's gonna have it slaughtered himself. So look, they're taking the animal now, and they're gonna take it. They're gonna tie it up and let him carry it home, inshallah. He's gonna take the money from him as a payment for the sheep itself. And again, this is probably for his own consumption, rather than for it could be in preparation for the Qurbani as well, but that potentially depends. Alhamdulillah, he's happy, man. Off he's gonna go, and that's someone's nice Eid dinner or a charitable giving. Alhamdulillah.
وديني سلامي يا رايح للحرم، وادعي لي وسلم لي على هادي الأمم. وديني سلامي يا رايح للحرم، وادعي لي وسلم لي على هادي